going to pay for it?
Let's welcome in today's roundtable. We have with us the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey, along with us, TV, radio commentator Ellis Henican. He's author as well. And Betsy and Ellis, let's deal me in for this particular roundtable discussion. I hope we have one with Betsy. First to you. You have a new article that's on Newsmax.com right now about this topic. Tell us, paid leave sounds like a great idea, but tell us why you're opposed to it.
What could be warmer and fuzzier than giving a woman 12 weeks paid leave after she has a baby to bond with her newborn or to take care of an elderly person in her family? Here's the trouble. This is being paid for by looting the paychecks of everyone who goes to work. And nobody's informed the workforce about that. New York just passed one of these laws, and New York will start deducting as yet unspecified percentage from every single person's paycheck in the state to pay for paid family leave. Now, the people who benefit from this are a very small group. We know from the 3 states that have already done it that over 80% of the leave takers are women who have given birth, over 80%. But every single man who's going to work, every older woman who's already had her family, everybody has to contribute to this. And the fact is, they're not even being told about it. They don't know that pretty soon their paycheck is going to look smaller and smaller because state bureaucrats have a mandate now to take as much out as is needed to fund paid family leave.
Ellis, it's for you. Just kidding. You want to respond to
that? Sure, I would happily respond to that. You know, we're a decent people here in America. And we look out after each other, particularly at times of special need. Now, I understand there's always voices on the right that want to say we can't afford this. We can't afford a minimum wage. We can't afford a safe factory floor. We can't afford anti-discrimination legislation. We can't afford gender equality. There's always some person in business or on the right who'll tell you can't afford it. But you know what? The most of the civilized thing. Let me finish my thought, if I might, Betsy.
Let him finish.
Let me finish my thought, if I might, Betsy. The whole rest of the entire civilized world has found a way to pay for this, and we are great and decent enough in America that I believe in my heart that we can afford it and do it too.
We shouldn't be doing it via a payroll deduction, and that's because doing it via a payroll deduction penalizes people who go to work every day. You're looting, raiding, pilfering, plundering their paychecks to pay for something that only benefits a small segment of society. If, in fact, people want to pay for paid family leave, let's have a referendum. Let's have a referendum and decide whether it should be paid for out of progressively raised income tax revenues. Sneaking it through by taking it out of everybody's paychecks is dishonest, and it's anti-worker.
And the timing of this too, though, of this too is somewhat suspicious because this is happening, during the New York Democratic primary. Hillary Clinton was right there next to Governor Andrew Cuomo, cozy up together, and they were signing this. It seems like it's motivated to help Hillary Clinton in some way, even though Bernie Sanders is really one who led the charge on it.
Who was paying for it? There was no discussion of where the money is coming from.
Right, and as you mentioned in your article, you're saying it's coming out of people's paychecks, and it does affect different people differently. You talk about women specifically in your article versus men. You even talk about the salary gap. Can you go into that a little bit, Betsy?
That's right. This law is really stuck to help only the lowest income workers. If you're a minimum wage worker and you're working part-time, you're going to get 100% of your pay for those 12 weeks. But if you're somebody who earns anything over the statewide average salary, you're going to pay in a lot more than you ever get back in benefits. And that income redistribution is not discussed at all in this.
That is true, Ellis. What is your reaction to that, though? Because you're going to hear the same arguments over and over again where businesses say they can't afford something like this. I know we're talking about state workers.
Why not make it voluntary?
If Betsy will stop yelling at me, I'll try to answer.
Okay.
Are you done?
Yeah.
It seems to me that I'm okay with the idea that maybe we ought to give a little bit of hand to poor working women who want to spend, lower income women that Betsy seems so concerned about, who might want to spend 3 months with their newborns. You know what? I'll bet in the long run, if we get a little more parental attention here, a little more mother-child bonding, maybe family values will be helped, maybe we'll get some benefits from it. You know what? Yes, it's going to cost a couple of bucks, but there's something to say for doing the right thing, even if it does cost a couple of dollars. We've done that in a lot of other areas. I think children are worth it.
All right, we're going to move on a little bit. We're going to talk in the short time we have remaining. Let's talk about the New York primary that's coming up. Donald Trump continues to lead in the polls there, but the question is, will he pull out a win? Betsy, what is your gut telling you?
I think it's obvious that he's going to pull out a big win in New York. The question is whether he will lose any of the congressional districts in New York or whether he will collect all 95 delegates that New York has to offer. But clearly he's going to be up close to 90 and maybe get all 95.
Ellis, real quickly, does Hillary, does she just have this in the bag, or does Bernie have a chance here?
Well, Betsy and I agree 100% on Trump, and I'll bet you we agree on Hillary, too. She's going to win the New York primary.
All right, there you have it. Could this be?
Ellis and I always agree on something.
We're trying to find some common ground.
There you go.
It's fine to get a little
Makes me feel
argument
The paid
here and
family
there.
leave, we may have to work on that a little bit more, but at least we have a consensus on that.
Maybe some better tax incentives, some better write-offs for companies who want to do this.
Yeah,
Might be a better idea.
I think there's a compromise there. We'll see one eventually. Betsy McCaughey, Ellis Henican, thank you both for joining us. Pleasure to have you. Coming up next, we'll continue our exclusive interview with former Senator and Florida Governor Bob Graham. We'll talk to him about why Saudi Arabia may not be such a great ally after all. Plus, we want to know what you think about Donald Trump attacking the RNC and calling Chairman Reince Priebus a disgrace. Tweet us your thoughts or leave us a comment on our Facebook page. We'll air some of your comments a little bit later on in the show. You're watching Newsmax Now. We'll be right back.